Still dreaming your dream job? Join GangBoard now and make it real.
Hello everyone, greetings from gangboard.com. Today we are going to talk about a CEH interview questions. Based upon the few researchers have collected around 20 questions, so it would be providing a basic information and required demo. Let's get started. What are the phases of ethical hacking? Let's see the answers first and I will give you what is the explanation. Information gathering, enumeration, system hacking, privilege escalation, and covering the tracks. Information gathering. So, information gathering is like collecting the information about particular target. Say for example, if you're going to gather details about example google.com, we need to find out the all informations, subdomains, what is the IP. Such basic steps are called information gathering. Enumeration. Once we gather the information, we need to find what are all the services that are available for particular domain. System hacking. Say for example, in the scanning, if we get port 80, we need to find what is the web application that is running. We need to see what is the user credentials, or we need to find the user credentials by brute forcing or other attack types. The next one is privilege escalation. Say for example, if you attack the system and you got a user level of shell and you need to find a way to elevate your level to admin, that is called privilege escalation. Covering the tracks. Covering the tracks means we have done the scan and hacking and we have used the exploits to attack the system. We need to remove all the footprints that are available in the logs so no one should identify us. That's the basics of covering the tracks. Let's go to the next question. What are the types of penetration testing? Black box, gray box, and white box. First one, black box. Say for example, you are an attacker and there is no prior knowledge about the target. You need to find it on your own. That is called black box. No prior knowledge about the target. We need to identify what is the service, what is the ports running on the machine, and how to hack the system. No, zero knowledge about the targets. That is called black box. A gray box, limited prior knowledge. Example like operating system and IP address. So the target will be given to us with a limited amount of content like IP address and OS. So from this, we need to perform the port scan, IP address scan, and other vulnerability scannings. That is called gray box testing. White box, it's a complete knowledge. Say for example, the IP address, the operating system, what are all the ports running on the machine, and what are all the vulnerabilities that is available, what are all the latest patches of the system, which version of Windows is running, or which version of the Linux is running, or what's the technology that has been used in the application. Say for example, engines, HTTP, Apache, like that web servers will be running, and what is the version of the web server. All the details will be provided to the tester. That is called white box testing. Let's go to the next one. What is footprinting? In ethical hacking, footprinting is one of the basic steps and we need to gather the information about the target. So, footprinting is a collection of information about the target and target network. So, how we need to collect the target information and related the network updates. So I've listed four basic things that will be done by hackers in general. The first one is search engines, Google hacking techniques, social networking sites, and whois. So let's do a demo on this part. First one is search engines. So in our routine life, we use Google and Yahoo. Apart from that, there are more search engines available. Say for example, There is a search engine called Chan and Census, and then Baidu, Bing, Google, Yahoo. So these are all the most common search engines that will be used. Google hacking techniques. So this is one of the a passive way to gather the information. Okay, so now we see how we can use the Google in a different way. For example, if I want to know a particular website and its subdomain alone, I need to find like, so you can see the subdomains that are available here. All Microsoft.com will be alone, and you can see more than 37 lakh results are available. So we need to find what are all the different subdomains that are used in the Microsoft.com. If you see the example, we can see a lot of repetitive things. The Microsoft.com is repeated multiple times, so we can reduce the number of results like. Now you can see different domains: support.microsoft.com, office.microsoft.com, news.microsoft.com, account.microsoft.com, and etc. So in this way, you can use the search engine Google in a different way in your way to find the details. So next one is the common one, social networking sites. So today people are using more towards social networking sites. For example, uh, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So these informations will be very useful for attackers. So in general, people will be going to different places and take the pictures and they post in their Instagram. So that is the information that is available online and anyone can view it. So that's a weakness here. Similarly, we use Facebook in our daily routine lives. It will give our information to anonymous people. So we are giving our own information in Facebook and Instagram and any other social websites is dangerous, and it is giving information about us to another people. And the next one, who is this a domain controller, and we can find what's the IP address and where is the location and lot of other details in the whois.com. Let's see about it. Just type whois in the browser and search. Great. So now if you know the IP address or domain name, you just directly type here. So here I am typing google.com. Great. Now we got the results. Let's have a look on it. So google.com is a name which is already registered. And who has registered, the domain registry date, email, contact, and what is the name server and DNS related informations all will be available. So this is a basic information that you can get from different sites. So this is one of the example. Let's move to the next one. So these are all the different ways that will be used for footprinting, and another way is called active footprinting. Let's move to the next question. What is DNS footprinting? So, DNS footprinting is to help to identify a host within the targeted network. MX, Mail Exchange Server. This is called Domains Mail Server. NS, Host Naming Server. Okay, example is www.dnsstuff.com. So, how can you use this particular site to get a DNS related details? Let's go and check. Okay, so once we came here, click on the free tools. Let's wait for the site to get loaded. Okay, now we do have the site. Let's see. I'll type the name google.com again and wait for the results. It will take a few minutes to load the results. Great. So now we got some reports for the google.com. Let's see what is that. So now you can see a different name servers behind the Google, ns1.google.com, ns2.google.com. So ns basically means name server, and what all the IPs related to that is listed here. And these are all the information that will be available for public. So there is no harm in finding those issues. So this is another way of getting a DNS related information. Like this dnsstuff.com, we have a lot of other resources available to find the DNS gathers and informations. Let's move to the next question. What is a ping and tracer command in Windows? Ping command used to verify a computer can communicate over the network with another computer. So ping, which help us to find whether the host is active or not. Let's try this one. So I'm opening my command. I'm typing ping google.com. I can see the reply from google.com. Now you can see that 32 bytes of data is transferred and we got 4 packets received from the google.com. So there is no loss in our packets, and we also see how much time it took to travel. So this is a basic command that helps to find whether the host is active or not. Let's move to the slide. What is traced command? Traced command is used to see the path that packet takes from the computer to destination website. Say for example, we are located in India and we type the google.com, so it is located somewhere in US. So our request should go to the destination, how many packets it will be transferring and how it will be transferring via different ways. That is called traced command. Let's see traced how it works. So now I typed the command and the google.com is a destination. So now the tracer is working and showing how much time it is taking to travel to google.com and what are all the websites or the IPv6 address is displayed here. So this is how the traceset command works. Let's move to the next one. What is active information gathering? So active information gathering is about collecting the target information via interacting with the target directly. So this is called active information gathering. Say for example, if you want to know about a TCS or google.com and Cognizant in general, we need to open the website and we can see the information what is listed there. Let's see what is active information gathering. So again, active information gathering involves a direct connection with the target. So this technique reveals much more information than passive information gathering. So for this, we have a lot of different tools that are available. Uh, we need to ensure and we need to get the permission if you're going to attack or scan a particular company. In a lot of cases, scanning or getting the information about the particular company is not legal. So we need to get the proper way or we need to find the proper information about that. So the tool which will be used for scanning purposes is ZenMap. So ZenMap is another open source tool to find the port services and other informations. Let's move to the next question. What is vulnerability assessment? So from our information gathering phases like passive and active, we would have collected some informations. So with that information, we need to proceed for the next step that is called vulnerability assessment. It is the process of examination and discovery of system weakness and its security measures. It also helps to recognize the vulnerabilities that can be exploited. Let's see the types: active, passive, external, and internal. So active means directly probing the host. Passive means assessing without interfering the host. External, assessment to find vulnerabilities from outside the network. Internal, assessment to find vulnerabilities by internal network scan. So active, in which way active testing, active vulnerability assessment will work? Say for example, you have a proper permission and you know what is the web service or web server that is running on one of the analyzed port, and with that permission you need to see like what is the vulnerability or what is the weakness that is available in the particular system. So you need to find the proof to showcase that vulnerability is existing. So this is called active vulnerability. So passive assessment without interfering the host. So passive vulnerability assessment means like you should not have any direct interact with the web application. So with help of the version, service version and port numbers, you need to analyze manually through the search engines and you need to find what is the weakness that may existing. So this will not allow you to interact with the web server or web service directly. External. So this is means, say for example, you are a user located outside the company. You know nothing about their internal IP address or any other information inside the company. As an outsider, you need to find the weakness of the system. So again, you need to follow the complete penetration testing steps from the beginning, like information gathering, enumeration, vulnerability assessment, and post vulnerability assessment and exploitation. Internal assessment. So you know what is the internal network and IP addresses all. What are all the ports are running, what are all the different web applications are running. So you have a complete information with you, and with that you need to find the weakness or vulnerability scanning with help of the tools. So this is a broad category of vulnerability assessments. Let's go to the next one. Explain SQL injection. So SQL injection is a vulnerability that helps to attacker to interpret with the queries that will be used by application. So in general, if you see any application login pages, you need to enter user credentials. So what that means basically, application gathers your data and compare with the data that is already been registered. If as a user, if you have already registered, it will allow you to the system. If you have not registered, application denies you and will not allow you to the login page or the application. So what is the weakness here? So SQL injection basically means like with help of certain characters, certain way, application considers your admin and you will be allowed inside the application. It allows the attacker to view the data they are normally able to view. A successful attack can read sensitive data, modify the database, and execute the admin operations. Let's see the demo here. So now I'm opening a test web application. So it is normally for practice purpose. Demo.testfire.net. Okay, so this is one of the common testing website that will be used for security testers. Alright, we do have a sign-in page and we do not know any user credentials for this. So in general, attacker's perspective, we need to find some common ways here. Admin, admin. So I'm just using a normal one. Login. Alright, so first way is success, but we have not used any SQL injection here, but the normal user credentials. Let's try SQL injection related payloads here. Again, sign off, sign in, test, test. Login failed. We are sorry, but this username or password was not found in our system. Okay, so as a first step in SQL injection, we need to find a character with apostrophe. Click login. Great. Now we got the syntax error. Encoded test at line 1, column 66. In general, if SQL injection is available in the particular system, this is like a hint for us. So we need to use this hint and we need to try our inputs in a different way. Say for example, test or 1 equals 1. Test. Okay. So now you have a look on my input that will be a bit different. So you need to know what this input means actually. So first we need to find why the apostrophe is used or is used and why I put out 1 equal to 1. So in SQL language, if you find any queries with and or 1 equal 1, that will allow the user or it will give all the results that will be used in the SQL query. So now I'm just logging in. Great. So this is a way to log into the application with help of SQL injection. Let's move to the next question. How XSS works and what are the types? So first we need to find what is XSS. So XSS means cross-site scripting. So it is a weakness that will be allowed in web applications. So what it means is like as an attacker you can execute the JavaScript in web applications. So that we can get a sensitive information of the application like session and other tokens. XSS works by manipulating a vulnerable website and it returns the JavaScript to users. Let's see the example. So now I'm just trying the word called test here. Great. Now I can see the result test what I have given. So now again, so these are all the test results that I've already used. So this is a direct way to find. So first we tried with the test and it got the reflected as test. So now I'm trying the test with less than and greater than symbols here. So click on go. Wow, it's weird. Why my result is not displayed? Great. Now I need to modify the input little better. Great. Again, this is displaying but as a hyperlink. So here our HTML tags are considered as a proper input. So now I'm modifying my input little bit different. So I wanted to confirm that XSS issue is existing. So H tag means heading. It will be displayed like here. So with this input, we can confirm that XSS issue is listed. So now I'm trying to execute some pop-up here. So now I typed a simple input tag like script, alert and script tag. So what this does is if application is accepting this input and it will display the pop-up. Let's try that. Great. Now you can see the pop-up demo.testfire.net says 1. So what that means? So how attackers can use it? Let's see that. Let's use the same input again. So instead of 1, I'm going to modify the input in a different way. Document.cookie. Great. Now you can see some sensitive information of the application. What that means is once you got the cookie information and you can use this information and you can hack it. So say for example, this is like a password of another user. So this shows how cross-site scripting can be existing and how you can use it. Let's move back to the slides. So this is what we saw now when malicious code execute inside a victim's browser. Let's see the types of that. Reflected, stored, DOM. Let's see what is meant by reflected. Malicious script comes from the current HTTP request. So this is a demo that we saw. We just injected in one of the search and the current HTTP request processed and reflected our input as a script. Stored. Malicious script comes from the website database, which means, say for example, you have a forum. In that, you have typed the script tag and you have saved it. Say, multiple users will be visiting the same forum. So, for each user who visits the forum page, the scripts will be executed and you can get all the information of that user. So, this is much more vulnerable. And DOM. So DOM is something a completely different way of finding the XSS. So DOM means document object model. So there is no request and response way of working. The weakness is existing at the client side. In many cases you have seen during any form fill, there will be a columns called a permanent address and a temporary address, and there'll be one checkbox. If your address is same, you just check this checkbox. You can copy the same information from present address to the same address to this a permanent address. So this is a code that will be execute at the client side. There is no uh, what's that web servers help is needed in that places. You can use or you can try the DOM based reflected XSS. Again, it helps to get the sensitive information of the application with client side. Let's move to the next one. What is cookie and what are its types? Cookie is generally called as a web cookie, and it is a piece of data that computer receives and then sends back without a changing to the server. It is to help the website keep track of users' activity and visits. So below are some common types that will be available. So apart from that, there are a lot of other types. Let's see the basic one: session cookie, tracking cookie, authentication cookie. Let's see where the cookie resides. Okay, let's use the same application what we used. So we need to go to developer mode. So press F12 and you can see the developer's way. Great. Now in the application you can see cookies, and you can see the JSession ID and alter accounts. So this is how you need to find the cookies in your own system. Let's see what are all the types. Session cookie used when user actively navigating the website. Say for example, if you have logged into the application and you're doing some activities and you have 3 minutes of time that you're doing your activities. So during every time the server validate your cookie value and confirms whether the cookie is modified or tampered or replaced by some other random value, so that a server will understand you are the user logged in and no other has logged in, or no other duplicate sessions are existing. A tracking cookie used to create a long-term records by the multiple visit by the user. Say for example, we have Amazon.com. So each and every time you will be visiting the Amazon.com, you will be tracked and your cookie will be tracked for buying the different orders. Say for example, each product will have a unique cookie or identification a code that will be used every time when you buy the product. Authentication cookie used to track whether a user is logged in or not. Say for example, you're on a login page and you're giving your credentials, and the server will give you a unique authentication code. So that is called authentication cookie. Once you logged in, that authentication code will be not in use. If you use it again, it won't work. Explain the difference between encryption and encoding. So this is very popular in web application security. Let's see what is meant by encoding and encryption. Encoding: data is transformed to another format. Example, ASCII and base64. Encryption: a process of scrambling data to ensure unintended recipients are not able to read, but it can be readable with the help of the key. AES, advanced encryption schema. So this is another way of encryption. So why encryption and encoding is needed? Say for example, attackers can sniff the data which will be traversing between client and web server. So first one, encoding is something used to prevent XSS related issues. This is one of the prevention way that developers do to prevent the script's execution. This is one simple example. There are a lot of other ways data will be encoded. So the next one is encryption. Say for example, uh, the data which you are giving to the application should not be readable the man in the middle, like some unknown person. To make him confused or to make not to understand, this technique will be used. There are two types of encryption is available: symmetric encryption and asymmetric encryption. So again, that is a technique that will be used in different places of the web application in any other cryptographic related controls. Explain packet sniffing and tool example trade. So what is meant by packet sniffing? The act of capturing the data across the network is called packet sniffing. The popular tool is called Wireshark. So how we are going to capture? Let's see, have a demo. Great. So this is a Kali Linux OS. It is used for hacking purposes. Let's use this operating system and see how Wireshark works and what is meant by packet sniffing. So I'm giving my user credentials here. Great. Now we are in the terminal, so we need Wireshark. Let's initiate it. Great. So Wireshark is initiated. So let's see how the packets are getting tracked here. So now I'm going to start capturing the packets. Before that, we need to do some requests. Alright, let's minimize this. We'll open another terminal and ping google.com. Great, the ping is working properly. Let's close it. So now we can stop recording. You can see some data here. So what requests we have made, that will be tracked here. So this is how our informations will be getting sniffed. Say for example, I'm just opening one of the packet here and you can see what is the information that is available. So this is called something like encrypted and data is not in plain text. So anyone who is sniffing our data cannot be read any information. So this is how Wireshark captures the packet. What is three-way handshake? Great. So three-way handshake is establishing a connection between the server and the client. And how it works, let's see that. So it is a process used to TCP to make a connection with server and client. Great. So this is a simple picture that allows you to see the three packets that will be transferred between client and server, and this ensures the connection between the server and client. You can see the first picture, client. Client is sending SYN packet to the server, and server reads that packet and sending the acknowledgement to client back. That is called SYN ACK, acknowledged. And again, from the client side, it is going to server. I saw your packet, So I'm acknowledging from my side. So this is how a different packets that will be sending between a client and server. So this is called a three-way handshake, and it will be applicable to all the TCP ports. Let's move to the next one. What is Netcat? So Netcat is a utility or a program or software a reading from writing to network connections using TCP or UDP. So this is one of the best tool that will be used in ethical hacking for hacking purposes. So it is called as a Swiss Army knife of networking. So basically what that means, let's see what are all the uses of that. Say for example, as an attacker, you have scanned some of the target domain and you find there are certain ports open for that domain. Say for example, 1234 is open. As an attacker, you wanted to connect with that port and you need to see what is going on in that port. For that, you can use the netcat tool here to read the banner of the port. Say for example, once you have logged into that particular port and you're typing some command, say for example it is FTP, means you can directly log in with anonymous if the authentication is not proper, and you type, you can see what is going on between the FTP, what are all the files there, and etc. And you can see the banner of the port, what is the version of that, and other configurations that was done by administrator for the FTP port. To connect network services manually. Services manually means like what are all the different ports are available. You need to just type the port IP, you can directly connect with the service. So this is the main use of the netcat. Let's go to the next one. What is intercepting proxy tool? An example. Okay, so proxy tool acts as a man in the middle between your browser and destination web server. It helps to intercept, inspect, or modify a raw traffic in both directions. Let's see what is meant by proxy tool. So let's move back. So now I'm typing the tool called burp. So burp suite is one of the proxy tool that is available in the market. Great. To make it work, we need to have Firefox. Let's open Firefox. Okay, so I have already enabled few settings here. So I will show you what are all the settings to be done. When you install the burpsuite community version, and you can directly go to the proxy and you can come to the tab called options. So here I have enabled the interface like 127.0.0.1 and port 8080. So in similar way, we need to do some adjustments in Firefox. Let's see what is that. So open options, just type proxy and you can see the proxy settings. Now you can see I have entered the same port and IP address here. So whatever the request that was made by browser will come to this proxy and go to the destination web server, and I have enabled the port at 8080. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go to the intercept, and intercept is off now, so I'm clicking it. Now it says intercept is on. So now I'm going to make any request from the browser. Let's type google.com, press enter, and you can see the burp suite is highlighting. Let's go and check. Okay, now you can see the request. So this is how the request will be going to web server, host google.com, user agent Mozilla, the Mozilla Firefox, that's the version is used, and accept language, English US, and then accept encoding, gzip and deflate, connection is close. So this is how when you type the google.com, the raw request will be going from your browser to the destination web server. Also you can see the IP address of the google.com. So now we can check what google.com sends back to our browser. So to do that, we need to do some changes here. Go to the options again, and you can see the option called intercept server responses. So enable that, go back to the intercept and forward, click forward again, 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 again. So these are all different web requests that will be going from our browser to the Google server. So you can see the response from https google.com. So this message was sent from the Google, and in that you can see http 200. So that's a success message that Google has responded to you. That's great. Let's see what are all the other protection methods are enabled here. XSS protection, X-frame options, and other basic details. So this is how Intercept works. You can see what is going from your browser and what is coming from the server. Let's move back to the questions again. So that's an example just I showed, example called Burp Suite, and similarly we have other tool called OWASP Zap. So that's a open source tool, and you can download and you can use it. What is OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities? So first we need to understand what is meant by OWASP. OWASP is nothing but Open Web Application Security Project. So this is something that will be OWASP community. They will review and they will change the list for every 4 years, I believe. So this is the latest OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities we need to check in every web application assessment. So this is essential, and we need to study the individual vulnerabilities that was given here. Let's see the types what is given. Injection, broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, XML external entities, broken access control, security misconfiguration, cross-site scripting, insecure deserialization, using components with known vulnerabilities, insufficient logging and monitoring. So the first one, injection. So we have see the example called SQL injection. So broken authentication. If there is some weakness in session related vulnerabilities, then we can categorize this as broken authentication. Sensitive data exposure. Say for example, user 1 detail should not be visible to another users. If any other users can view user 1 detail, that's called sensitive data exposure. XML and external entities. In our web applications, different types of XML entities will be used. So if that is vulnerable, attacker make it use for his favor. Broken access control. Say for example you are a normal user. What will be happen if you get some admin privileges? Security misconfiguration. So this is like a default password. Say for example in the demo we have default credentials like admin in demo.testfire. So that's a security misconfiguration. Cross-site scripting. So cross-site scripting is allowing some malicious JavaScript to execute in our web browser. Insecure deserialization. It's another vulnerability that will be used for remote code execution. Using components with known vulnerabilities. Lot of Apache modules and lower versions of PHP allows certain vulnerabilities. So with some research, we should not use those vulnerable components in our web applications. Insufficient logging and monitoring. In general, web applications and web servers should track all the user's activity and what user is doing. Every information of the user should be logged and application should be monitored properly. So this is the basics about OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. So it is advisable to go over individual vulnerabilities and explore more. Let's go to the next one. What are the common ports and services? So this is a very essential in ethical hacking. As a common practice, we need to find and understand what are the common ports that are available during our testing. So I have listed very basic ports here. Let's see individual one. FTP port 21, Secure Shell 22, HTTP 80, HTTPS 443, DNS is 53, RDP 3389, NTP and 123. What is meant by FTP? FTP means File Transfer Protocol. It helps you to save the files and upload the files, and SSH is Secure Shell. HTTP, that's a common web port that will be used in our internets commonly. HTTPS, so to make it secure, HTTP we will be using HTTPS. So it will not have any whenever you saw the banking application at the top, you can see HTTPS will be in a green color, which makes secure shell. So which means no one in the middleman can intercept and see what's a message going between a banking server and the client. DNS, domain name system, that is called 53. RDP, remote desktop protocol. So that will be available in Windows especially, and we have a lot of vulnerabilities for that particular RDP port. And NTP, network timer protocol, in our system. So this ensures the time is working properly, and that port is 123. So similarly, we have 65,545 ports, I believe. So that's the total number of ports available, and in general, first 1,000 ports will be scanned always. We need to make sure the ports are always closed and what all the services are running at that side. Let's go to the next one. What is bind shell and reverse shell? Okay, so for that we need to have a small demo here. So bind shell, you can see attacker can directly go to the open port and we can get the shell directly. So reverse shell means like if you are a victim, I need to get your shell to my system. I know it will be a little bit confusing. Let's see a small demo for this one. Let's do a bind shell first. So for this purpose, I'm going to use Windows machine and Linux machine. Let's open a new. So for this purpose, I need to get a common tool called ncat. Great. So now we need to go back to command shell. Then we need to type or open ncat session. We need to mention the port here. Okay, what I typed here, let's analyze the individual one. I've just opened the program called ncat and I've typed N. N means connect. L means listen. V means verbose. P, port. I mentioned 4 force here and execute the program called cmd.exe. Let's enter. Great. We have opened the ncat session in Windows. So now we need to connect to this port from the Linux machine. For that, we need to know the Windows machine IP address. So for that purpose, I've already noted it down. I'm going to just take it. Windows machine IP is 192.168.43.36 and we need to specify the port for force here. Let's check whether our ncat is correct or not. Great. So our IP address is correct and we have opened the session in Windows machine. We need to connect from this machine. That's great. So you can see the Windows command path here, like the CMD. Let's see what is the system info. Let's wait for a minute. You can see the system information details. So now you can see the Windows machine, OS version, name of the user, and other basic details. So this is called a bind session, the bind shell. As an attacker, you have enabled certain thing from the Windows machine. You're going directly or mentioning the IP address directly and you're getting the Windows shell in the Linux machine. So in similar way, how the reverse shell works, let's see that. Let's close this. Let's move back. Okay, so now we will try the reverse shell. Great. Now I opened the session at 444, the same Windows machine. Now let's go back to Linux machine and type so we need to find the IP address. IP address of Windows machine again 192. 168 43.146 bin bash. Oh, that's my mistake. I need to mention the port here. So let's go and check. So now you can see the shell got connected and disconnected immediately. So connection is refused. So my system, the Windows machine, is not allowing to connect with the root kali. So but this is a procedure to connect with using the technique called reverse shell. Let's move back to the next question. What is privilege escalation and what are the types? Privilege escalation attack happens when a malicious user of an account or an application gains access to privilege of another user in the target system. Say for example, you have attacked one machine and you got the user shell. You need to find a way to get the admin privileges. So to do that, you need to enumerate the user machine, what privileges you have. So from that, you need to get the admin shell. So there are two types of that: horizontal and vertical privilege escalation. Horizontal escalation means, say for example, you have attacked a mission as a user 1 and you need to find a way to pretend like a user 2. So with the same level of role, same level of access, but you are getting another user, you are logging in as another user. So in this call, in this situation or scenario, it is called as a horizontal privilege escalation. In the same situation, you are a user, but luckily you have found admin related credentials and access. So now you have elevated your privilege from user to admin. So this is called vertical privilege escalation. So for any attackers, getting the admin access is a success. You have attacked a mission and you have found the user shell and you have elevated your admin shell, means like you become a complete admin and you compromise the system and full application and system is in your control. Let's go to the next one. What is CVSS rating? So CVSS rating is a way to measure the severity of the weakness or vulnerability. So CVSS means Common Vulnerability Scoring System. It provides the characteristics of vulnerability and provides a score to reflect its severity. So this is a website that will be used for measuring the severity. Let's go to that. Just type CVSS. So now you can see the link Common Vulnerability Scoring System. Okay. So now first you can use the calculator. So this is a calculator. So here they have given for different mode of attacks. Okay, let me show you a small demo on it. So these are all the individual options that will be based on CIA. CIA is nothing but confidentiality, integrity and availability and other factors that are available. So individually you can check, you can hover the mouse on any network, means it will show the definition what that means. So for example, I'm just giving network attacking complex low, privileges escalation required is none, user interaction required none, means it means like you, any attacker can attack the machine by using remotely, he doesn't need to use the system. Scope means changed, confidentiality is something high. So this is a complete example just to understand. Integrity high and availability is low. So once we given these parameters, you can see the score something called 10. So if you know about the weakness and its impact is a bit lower, say for example there is no confidential informations are revealed, if you change that to none, still it's 9.3 because it is affecting the integrity. Say for example that weakness is not even impacting the integrity, so make it none. You can see the score is getting reduced to 5.8. So this is somehow each and every vulnerability can be measured. Let's move, let's move to the slide now. Alright, so these are all the basic 20 questions and respective demo. I hope it will be useful for everyone. Thank you.